Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making spaghetti. Everybody's favorite, right? Yeah. It's going to be a pretty easy recipe, not too many ingredients. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so step one, we are going to be boiling some water. I already seasoned it with salt. You want to put about a couple tablespoons, enough to where you taste it where it's kind of like salt water. Bring it to a nice rolling boil, and then I'm going to throw the pasta right in. Alright, so we're at a nice roiling boil here. I'm going to put some spaghetti. We're only going to use probably half the box. There's only 2 people eating. Let's just go. Yeah, maybe a little more. We're hungry. Alright. It looks pretty good there, and then we're going to want to make sure you stir it around real quick so that they don't stick together. We're going to cook it till al dente. It's about 8 minutes or so, and then we'll come back. Alright, look at all this yummy pasta. So how you check it to see if it's al dente is you just get like one strand, and then you just, yep, nice and tender. So now we're gonna shut the heat off. Not sure how I'm gonna do this one-handed, but we're gonna try. So let me just grab this, bring it over here, dump it into our colander here. You can't see, let me just clear that up. And we're going to rinse with some cold water. What we're trying to do is we're trying to stop the cooking process. We don't want them to get mushy and nasty. No one likes that. Now, if you're a little crazy like me, you just put your hand right in this hot water. Yes, my hands are clean. No need for gloves. We don't do that here. Get nice and clean. Make sure they're nice and cold. I'm trying to wash off some of that starch as well. We don't want them sticking together. Kind of fluff it up a little bit. Looks pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to grab some oil. You can use olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you like. I like olive oil because I'm fancy. Get a nice coating on there. Mix it up. The purpose of this is so they don't stick together. That way we can let this sit out for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you need, and then we just put it right back to our pasta sauce. No problem. Alright, that looks good. Alright, step 2. I got this huge pan here. Got it nice and scorching hot. I'm going to throw some olive oil in there, a couple tablespoons. It's good for you, it doesn't matter how much. We're going to throw the onions and garlic. This is about a cup and a half onions, 2 tablespoons of garlic. I like a lot of onions. Stir this around. Got a nice non-stick pan. You don't want to burn any of the onions or the garlic. You basically just want them to be translucent. So I'm going to turn down to a little medium heat here. Just keep stirring it. The more you move them, the less they're going to burn. Just a couple minutes or so, not too long. Alright, so it looks like we got it about to where we want it to be. I'll turn the heat up just a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to add the ground beef. We got about 2 pounds here. this around. About a medium high right now. Now I'm going to add some salt and pepper mix. Alright. Stir this up. Trick is to keep it moving all the time. That way you don't burn anything. Try to break up the meat as much as you can. Not making meatballs here, so. Alright, and I'll come back in a minute when it's all ready. Alright, nice and brown. All the grease is coming out of it. So now the next step would be to strain the grease. Just get my lid here. I'm going to bring it over here. I got a nice jar in the sink full of grease. We don't like to dump this down the sink. Alright. I don't have to get it down the sink there. Depending on how much fat you like in your spaghetti. It's depending on how much you want to leave in there. Alright, it's good to go. It's back over here. Alright, so now we're going to season this up. We got some dried basil. Put about a teaspoon of that in there. We got some dried parsley. We'll put about a tablespoon of that in there. And then we've got some oregano. Put a teaspoon of that in there. And then we're just going to cook those seasonings for just a minute or so to kind of release some flavors. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we got a can of diced tomatoes here. I'm going to put the juice and all in there. Same thing, we're going to just heat that up for a minute or so. You can use any type of diced tomato, canned tomatoes. You can get the ones with all the flavorings in it, the garlic, basil, whatever your heart desires. This is just what I'm doing here. Okay, we're just going to let that heat up. Alright, it's nice and hot. Now at this point you would want to add in just a regular tomato sauce and some like a can of tomato paste. But I actually have a made up sauce that I'm going to use instead. Just trying to get rid of it. I have a whole jar. And we're going to mix it around. Doesn't that look great? That's just making you hungry, isn't it? That's right. Alright, so now we're going to just cook it up, let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Just put it on low heat and we'll let it simmer for 15 minutes and it'll just develop more flavors. And then we'll adjust the seasoning then. Alright, so while we're waiting for our spaghetti to simmer, I'm going to make some garlic bread. So I've got about half a stick of butter here melted. I'm going to throw a tablespoon of parsley. About 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, or 2 teaspoons. Stir it up. Put a little salt and pepper in it. Go. I don't have a pastry brush at the moment. That would be ideal. So I'm going to just do it like this. Try to make sure that butter gets nice and soaked into the bread. Just like that. And you can use fresh garlic if you want. I just didn't feel like cutting it up. There we go. Alright. So I got my oven set to 350 degrees. We're just going to put these bad boys right on the rack so I get nice and crispy all the way around. I want to spread them out pretty evenly. Make sure that air circulates around them. About 5 to 7 minutes and they'll be done. Alright, we're going to pull the bread out. Looks good. You don't have to burn your fingers off. Lid out. Alright. Does that look good? Alright, so the sauce has been simmering about 20 minutes. I did take that jar and put a little bit of water in it and then pour that back in here just to use it all up. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to put this pasta back in it, heat it back up. We're just going to mix this around. This is why we use a massive pan, so we can mix it all together. Alright, I'm going to just let it sit for another 5 minutes and just to heat that pasta up. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to plate this up. Make sure we get some of this sauce in here. There we go. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. The recipe will be down in the description. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to watch more videos. Thanks.